Yo, good morning, traders. Welcome to another episode of Market in the Morning. It is August 27th. It's Thursday. Tomorrow we have the Jackson Hole event. We're going to be breaking down markets, giving you guys some great trade setups, analyzing what we can be expecting and anticipating for the Jackson Hole event. And we will be live tomorrow for the J Hole as well. So, guys, if you're ready to make some money today, if you're ready to learn, earn, and become 1% better every single day as a minimum, smash that like button. If you're not already, hit the subscribe because Market in the Morning starts right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's start with the overnight and macro context. Deidre, good morning. Arsh, good morning. Uncle Banks, hello. Atif, good morning. Gemma, hello. Famous, Ted, Piyush, good morning. Yusuf, what's going on, guys? Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're ready for another great trading day. Let's start off with asking market to tell us anything that could have happened overnight. Luke, what's going on, brother? Good morning. So let's ask market. Tell me what happened overnight and if there were any recent headlines that could help move price today. I do wonder if it's going to cover. Yesterday we had NVIDIA earnings, in case anybody was wondering why we had such a big move higher, right, in the overnight session, was because NVIDIA beat earnings. It was a double beat again. They continue to beat earnings, continue to push their revenue higher, continue to push their earnings per share higher. Bubble who? I don't know what bubble you guys are talking about. I'll pull high impacts from the last 12 hours. Okay, if it's from the last 12 hours, it's not going to bring up NVIDIA. Fed Goolsby, current low higher, low fire, job market is unusual. Goolsby warns political interference in central bank fuels inflation. Ooh, it's 11 minutes ago. Goolsby's yapping it up right now. What's up, Toro? Good morning. Goolsby, political interference of central banks generally lead to inflation. Goolsby. Holy Goolsby. Tariffs and war-related price increases, a challenge for Fed rate rapid response. All right, let's ask it about NVIDIA's earnings. Let's see what it has to say about NVIDIA's earnings. How did NVIDIA's earnings come out yesterday? And how does it impact the market? Perfect. Just got to see. Trying to get my taskbar over here to hide. Let me move things out of the way. That's probably why. Everything's in slow-mo today, guys. I don't know about you. Awesome, guys. Happy Thursday, man. Can I ask what Jackson? Yeah, of course you could ask what Jackson Hole is, man. And we're using Ask Market, so we're going to be covering that as well. Let me run through the NVIDIA earnings, get you guys caught up to speed on that. Oh, no, see, it's saying NVIDIA hasn't reported earnings yet. It literally reported earnings yesterday, so we're going to give that a thumbs down. Inaccurate. NVIDIA just reported earnings. NVIDIA just reported earnings yesterday. Great. Now we're going to have to say, okay, how did NVIDIA's earnings come out yesterday on August 27th? Now, guys, if you do ever ask market for something and it doesn't give you the proper response, I need you guys to hit the thumbs down, because when you hit thumbs down, it gives you that little response bubble that you just saw, and choose and tell it why it's wrong. That way we could sort of create ask market to be that much more accurate. Obviously, you ask about gold, you ask about NASDAQ, it's going to give you proper and strong information pulling right from MRKT. Sometimes when you're asking about stocks, could be a little wishy, but that's all right. Reported earnings after the close. Oh, what's today? The 27th? Oh, on the 26th. Okay, so at least it was able to tell me I was wrong and say it was after the close on the 26th, and results hit overnight. Stock surged 7% in the pre-market today on a strong forecast that validated the AI infrastructure trade. The beat lifted Asian stocks, NASDAQ futures, and AI semiconductor peers globally. So right off the bat, I know I'm going to be looking for this optimism to continue or seep into today's New York session, but we have to remember J-hole is tomorrow, so it might just lead into some more range. Yeah, we're going to ask market exactly. It's looking for next earnings. Yeah, well, that's exactly what it was doing, Ryan. It was looking for the next earnings, even though we did ask for NVIDIA's earnings came out yesterday. Like I did say it came out yesterday, so maybe I'll be more specific and give it the date, and then it probably would have given me the proper response like it did this time. Let's see. All right, let's just go right to J-hole. Let's ask market. What's the Jackson Hole event, and how can we prepare for it? Good morning, everybody. Guys, what's going on? Hit that like button, man. Let's get us pumped up. We gotta pump it up. Pump it up. Jackson Hole Economic Symposium, Friday, August 28th, 10 a.m. Eastern, so it will be during our Market in the Morning stream. Fed Chair Kevin Warsh's debut speech at the Kansas City's Fed annual gathering of global central bankers. This is typically the major policy signaling event of late summer, and the year's stakes are elevated. Bond markets are stressed, yields are high, and market is watching for any near-term rate guidance versus a big picture academic tone. So, as we know, Jackson Hole, Warsh, I should say, doesn't like to give us forward guidance, but hopefully seeing that this is not just an FOMC meeting, this is something that will give us a bit more pressure on him, he will give us something that could either pump or dump markets. Most likely pump, right? Because if he's going to say things like inflation's cooling off, rate hikes are off the table, something with a more positive tone towards rate cuts or a more moving away tone from rate hikes. Let's say he says something like rate hikes are completely unexpected this year. That's going to be a great sign. Let's see. It's closely watched by traders because Fed Chair Kevin Warsh and other major central bank heads often deliver policy speeches that move markets. Exactly, Uncle Banks. You got it. What's up, Elsa? Good morning. When did YouTube Market AI become Market Live? About a month ago, a few weeks ago, a month ago maybe. Yeah, we switched it to the Market YouTube here, guys. Went from Market AI to Market Live, and I think we created a new Market AI YouTube channel. So like we have one channel for the live streams, then we're gonna have one channel for the actual videos and the breakdowns. So how to prepare. Context matters more than the event itself. Jackson Hole's speech historically moves on tone, hawkish or dovish framing, rather than explicit policy announcements. Like we mentioned, we're not really looking for him to say we are cutting rates, we aren't cutting rates. We're looking for them to say something along the lines of we're shifting more hawkish because A, B, and C about inflation, or we're shifting more dovish because of whatever the case may be. Anticipate volatility cross assets. The headline flags treasury yields, the dollar, and risk assets, equities, and gold. As the primary transmission channels, a hawkish lean would lift yields and the dollar, pressuring stocks and gold. A dovish tone would ease bonds and weaken the dollar. Pre-position around high conviction levels. Before 10 a.m., pull the intraday sentiment and key support resistance levels on assets you trade. Gold, ES, and Q, other assets as well. The speech can reprise rate expectations in minutes. Knowing your flip levels and pullback zones beforehand lets you trade the reaction, not chase it. No new effect. So we're preparing for Jackson Hole right now. We're sort of going over what Jackson Hole event is. That's going to be tomorrow. I'm going to show you guys the economic calendar right now. So tomorrow, Federal Reserve Chair Kevin Warsh will deliver his first speech at Jackson Hole's Economic Symposium. Today, we did just have initial jobless claims. And no, initial jobless claims does not give us that big of an effect. No, so good question. Cha-Cha, I like the name. Cha-Cha one time. All right, so Cha-Cha, initial jobless claims comes out every single Thursday. So it is not an event like a non-farm payroll, which is once a month, unemployment data, which is once a month, CPI, PPI, core PCE, all of these big events, all these big economic data releases come out once a month. So when they do come out, they tend to give us some more volatility because those events are sort of the pieces of the puzzle that lead to what the Fed's expectations are. So we use that information, but initial jobless claims came within minimum and maximum. So minimum was 200,000, max was 215, came in at 203, came in lower than expected. It would have a more bearish tone on the NASDAQ, a more bearish tone on gold, a more bearish tone on the ES. But because it's not that big of a high impact, we're not expecting it to give us that crazy of a move, right? Look at that markets. If you ask somebody who trades economic events, they'd be like, why didn't we get a move? Because that wasn't a true economic event. That was a small fry, every single week event. What I am looking for today on NASDAQ, due to the NVIDIA earnings spike, I'd like to see NASDAQ pull all the way back, and we might even be able to find a short position over here targeting these pre-market lows. But what we've seen very often is we see things like AMD earnings, NASDAQ spikes overnight, and then it pulls back and fills that entire move. This happened very recently as well. I think it was a few months ago. It wasn't AMD. Wasn't Marvel either. There was another big MU, is Micron. Micron had a crazy earnings report. It gapped up like hundreds of dollars. NASDAQ also gapped up crazy. New York session opened and we sold off. So I do want to see if we could either head towards the upside. As you guys know, I call this the low-hanging fruit. Sweep all these lower highs over here and then reverse after we sweep them. If we get that reversal, we take it short, stop near the high, and we look to target down over here. That's an easy 3-to-1 and higher. Just eyeballing it right here, this looks like it's at least a 5-to-1, 4-to-1. Let's see how good these eyeballs are. Let's see, right there to there. Look at that, 5-to-1, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So we'll see. That'll be trade setup number 1 that we're looking for. Setup 2, because of the NVIDIA earnings, because of the optimism, I would like to possibly see a reversal off this pre-market low as well. This is on the NASDAQ right now. So if we use our market plugin over here, and we go to bias, we could choose the asset we're looking at, which is the NASDAQ. And let's see. The bias on NQ is bullish continuation. So that right there is a fantastic sign. That makes me think, great, I don't want to really jump in shorts then. I want to look for an opportunity to go long. So something else I might look for is to see, okay, instead of using this area as resistance, seeing that we have already today, I want to see if we could squeeze through it, pop, pull back, entry on the pullback, and use this zone instead of as a resistance point, a long position area. So long positions on the NASDAQ. What's up, Dylan? Asking about US 30. We could definitely check US 30. That is the Dow. Dow Jones. Dow Jones. What you gonna do? Now, Dow Jones does historically have much lower volume than the S&P and NASDAQ, and it is not primarily tech or tech-driven like the NASDAQ, and even the ES is very heavy in the tech sector. The Dow is more industrial. So we're not really going to be seeing those same types of moves. What we can do is we could throw our Kev indicator on there just to mark out any supply or demand areas. I have a key zone right here. We'll change this to an area of interest. And we do have, look at that, a 1-hour demand zone that held a support once, twice, 3 times. And here we are trying to hold it again. But if the Dow starts breaking lower like it's trying to right now, and we break below this area, which we'd have to break below 53,372, we'd look for a retest to possibly go short. I'm not a big fan of the Dow myself. I haven't traded it. I've tried a few times. It's just very low in volume, lacks continuation, doesn't really have that follow through like the other assets that we do trade do have. So try to stay away from it. You know, gold, ES, NQ, those are great assets to trade because of how much volume they have. Bang, look at this. This was a trade call out for my pre-market prep I had with my community, guys. I have a Discord community if you guys are interested in joining. It is free to join. I do also have a elite program, which is just $50 a month, which is a pre-market prep. We go over gamma levels. We go over 2 to 4 different trade setups per asset that we look at. The ticker of the Dow on Market AI. So let's find that. So it always depends on what you're looking for. The Dow is considered the YM futures wise. So you could come over to your asset class, do add symbol, and you could look up YM, like Young Money, YM USD, mini Dow Jones, and you could add it right there. You wonder if you just type Dow. Yeah, DJI, also Dow Industrial. I don't remember off the top of my head what it is CFD wise. It's probably US 30. Yeah, I think you even said US 30. Okay, but it doesn't have US 30, does it? No, it doesn't have US 30, so you would just do YM USD. We could take a look at it for you. Guys, any assets, any tickers, anything you got, symbols you guys want me to cover, definitely let me know. I'm exactly in that nice, you're in that trade on gold. Good job. Good job. And look, that was straight from that Kev indicator level right here, that supply zone. Dang, that's nice, man. That's really nice. I missed this myself, but very clean. Look at that 5-1. That's going to play out. Very good, very good. Dow futures edge higher as Nvidia surge offsets chip tariff fears. However, we're not really necessarily edging higher right now. Yeah, you used the Kev indicator for that trade, bro. Let's go, man. That's cool. That is really cool. I'm going to actually take a screenshot of this and send this back to our product engineering team because Dow is not edging higher. I just want to make sure that we keep things as up to date as possible. Give me 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 2 seconds right here. Dow is not edging higher. Awesome, sweets. So what could support it? What could go against it? U.S.-Canada tariff war threats, trade, and manufacturing profits. So because Dow is more of an industrial, we would want to see, okay, well, how do tariffs impact the industrial sector? So we want to keep a very close eye on that, which, again, is Dow. How long to hold that gold? What do you think? Oh, bro, I don't know. How long to hold it? We don't know how long it's going to take the market to hit our entry or price target or anything like that. It's all about waiting, right? Understanding where our entry point is, where our target is, and where our stop loss is. Let's take one more quick look at the Dow. Make sure we are reading that right. Yeah, no, it looks like it's pretty down. Yeah. Let's see. It edged higher. Looks like it edged higher. Let's dump that for a second. Screenshot. Edged higher for maybe 5 minutes. Cool. Awesome. Awesome. I'd still look to see if it could find support down here. Finding it's definitely at a nice support zone. Can target previous low. Sorry if my English is bad. What's your TP? Let's take a look at GC. Are you in GC or are you in XAU USD? Always happy to help, guys. Any questions, please let me know. Kev indicators in the Discord. I'll just send you guys the link to the Discord. Make it a bit easier. XAU. So let's take a look at XAU USD. XAU, we are looking to see the shorts off of this area over here. It's funny, it didn't give that exact same area on XAU like it did on GC. Ready? Watch this. GC, it gave this area right there. XAU USD, it did not. A little bit of an indifference. Price target on XAU would be 45.70. Now where our recent lows were. We do have a fair value area right around 45.85, so you could be looking for just a short-term short position targeting those 45.83s. Cool, guys. Cool. Any questions, let me know. Just being patient, let markets come to us. I do like this gold short. I'm not in the gold short right now myself. Staying patient. It is what it is. Missed entry. That is cool. What's up, Samuel? I'm doing all right, man. How are you? Hope everybody's doing good. I'm really waiting for NASDAQ today. I think NASDAQ is a much nicer buy position today, especially off those NVIDIA earnings. A lot of momentum, a lot of optimism. We always talk about optimism in the market. Well, that's what we like to look for. And guess what? NVIDIA beating those earnings like that gives us optimism. So let's change our little tab in the corner. We're going over levels and trade setups right now. My TP is at 45.70, and I'm very sure if it can go lower than 84. Very good. Manage your risk properly, manage your trade properly, remember. So NASDAQ, we do have, let's see. I'd like to see again this area down here was an area of resistance. So check this out. Between 29,365 to 29,420, where we had resistance multiple times. So we had 3 tests we rejected lower. Even yesterday we rejected it until we squeezed, broke through it. Now we'd be looking for that same area to be working as support. So I do want to see, and same idea of if we can come back. This big gap up right here was from NVIDIA earnings. We pull back, sweep pre-market low, fill the earnings gap, and then reverse back higher. So all that liquidity that was missed due to the earnings gap higher then gets absorbed and price is able to continue. We did already break previous day high. Let's see, NASDAQ trying to find a bit of a reversal point over here too. It's a matter of staying patient, in my opinion, today. It's going to be a very interesting price action. We've seen all week has been a bit more sideways due to the fact that we're waiting on that Jackson Hole Symposium event. ES is already close to that pre-market low. Take a look at the S&P 500 here. So we have the support zone. Same thing. ES moved into the gap area, reversed. Moved into the gap area, reversed. I want to see if ES can also hit that pre-market low area and then reverse. So being patient, we're finding our levels pre-market. We're being prepared for when markets open and give us a trade setup. Let's put our volume profile on here. We're going to go to indicators. You can look up SVP, a session volume profile, add it to your chart. I already have the settings saved. Now this is a range bound volume profile, right? And that gives us like a D shape where it looks like a D. Ayo. But what we look for at that point when we are D-shaped is to buy the lows or sell the highs. So again, I'm not looking to short this because it looks like we have selling momentum. I'm looking to see if we could find a reversal area, maybe off of a liquidity sweep and a reversal back higher. Right now, like we mentioned, patience is key. We're not trying to catch this falling knife right now. We're looking to see if we want to start to either base out in the demand zone or if we want to start to come back. Now, NASDAQ is way above those pre-market lows. So we might even have a little divergence there where ES sweeps lows, NASDAQ holds lows. So be very careful on that point. VIX is currently trying to move higher, which is a more bearish sentiment on the S&P and NASDAQ. Weighted index equities haven't really been moving other than the gap up from the NVIDIA earnings. There goes another spike on the VIX, bringing the ES even lower there. I'm just waiting. I'd rather trade NASDAQ today. So because it was NVIDIA earnings and NASDAQ is our tech index, I'd rather trade NASDAQ off the momentum than ES off the momentum. The reason for that is because I know that NASDAQ is much more heavily weighted with NVIDIA than ES is. They both do move with equities, though, something we do want to keep in mind. So yeah, good question, Helen. With the Kev indicator, what are your settings? Because I have a large daily support area on the chart of MES. do you filter the time frame? So you can filter the time frame if you're seeing, and it's funny, I was seeing that same MES zone. It's like right up here, right? Yeah, this huge one. So if you want, you could go into the settings and you could go to inputs, and here's where your time frames are. You could turn off daily if you wanted to, which I think we're going to for now. Perfect. Makes it a lot more clear, because look at that. You see how we turned it off and then other zones popped up? It's because it doesn't overlap, or else if it overlapped, we'd have like 40 zones all over the place. What should I be watching on the VIX? Good question. So the VIX has an inverse correlation to the ES and NQ, but mainly the ES. What the VIX is measuring is the SPX options that expire within the next 30 days. So if the VIX is moving higher, that means there's more options being traded, which usually means there's going to be one of two things: more volatility, and a lot of times when there's more options, it's because institutions are hedging more, which means they're preparing for a down move, which again has that inverse correlation. Now, we could probably ask market that exact question that you just had. Let's see, new chat. Was told I should be watching the VIX. What is this? So the volatility index. Yep, VIX is the volatility index. VIX is not fear and greed. VIX is not fear and greed. That is not correct. It is not fear and greed. Fear and greed index is something completely separate. Fear and greed is like a CNBC type of thing. Fear and greed index, CNN, right? And that sort of shows you like fear and greed. Not so much. That's not the VIX. That's not the VIX. We even have a fear and greed indicator in market under general markets. And it's at a nice 67 right now. So there's active buying. So, right, what does that tell us? Buyers are active in the market. VIX is the volatility index. Let's ask market. What exactly is the VIX, and how can we use it in our trading for the S&P 500? Okay, what exactly is the VIX, and how can we use it in our trading for the S&P 500? Exactly what I just told you guys. So fear gauge and fear and greed is a little different. Fear gauge, so we measure the VIX as, oh, beautiful, it's even given the levels. I was going to say above 20 is usually considered a bit more of an uncertainty, like there's more worry entering the market. So the higher the VIX goes, the more fear. So yes, again, in a sense, it's a fear gauge, but it's not a fear and greed. Again, just something to keep in mind, because what we will see sometimes is S&P 500 at all-time highs, and then the VIX also moving higher, because while we're moving to all-time highs, institutions are still constantly hedging, and it measures volatility. So the VIX volatility index measures the market's expectations of 30-day volatility in the S&P 500 derived from SPX options. It's known as the fear gauge. Spikes when traders expect turbulence, falls when markets are calm. How to use it for S&P 500 trading. This is pretty cool. VIX below 15, complacency zone. Watch for range compressions on SPY and ES. Breakouts can be powerful when volatility awakens. 15 to 25, normal regime. I would say even less than 25. A lot of times I've seen above 20, above 22, that we see a lot more volatility and concerns and worry in the market. So 25 is a little extreme. Above 25, elevated fear. Expect choppy S&P 500 swings, wider intraday ranges, and fade extremes rather than chase breakouts. VIX above 30 to 40s, panic territory. Anything really above 30 is panic territory. Trading pairs divergence. Watch VIX rising while SPY rallies. Fragile rally, vulnerable to reversals. Confirmation, VIX falls during an uptrend. Healthy bull phase. So something I like to look for when trading with the VIX and the S&P 500 is, I'm going to pull it up, is the ES making new low of day while VIX is making new high of day. Now, that would be during the New York session, not during any other session. Any other session, it doesn't really measure too consistently because it's measuring the options volatility, and usually options are heavily traded during the New York session, not outside of it. It is 8:52 right now, so hopefully we do end up getting some type of price action or open soon. Look at that, man. Gold continuing lower. Beautiful. Beautiful. 46.54. The short said bam. That would have been, even if you lock in profit here, 3-1 right there. We're looking for that 5-1 to hit. So pull back. Let's I'm gonna add an alert at 46.54 right here on gold. See if we do get some type of reaction. Bada bing. You got it, Yusuf. Is somebody messaged me last night asking about difference between going from futures, from Forex to futures. If you guys have that question too, please let me know. And if you're here, please let me know. And I will cover that because when it comes to futures, you do have to know a few more things. You know, you have to understand how micros work, how minis work, and how you could scale in and out. Where are you watching for reaction on gold? Let's pull up gold. I'm going to put up GC on the left side, XAU USD on the right side over here. So we already got the reaction to the zone I was looking for. EB Cottons, I see your question about low volume nodes. I'm going to answer that in 1 second. I do see it. I'm sorry I missed that before. So one of my bigger concerns here with the gold being where it's at is on XAU, it does show a 4-hour demand zone. But it looks like we didn't break it yet either. But look at this. This 4-hour is different from the 4-hour on ES because when it comes to Forex and futures, we have different 4-hour time frames. As you guys know from the last show, look at this. Our 4-hour on futures closes at 10 a.m. Eastern, right? 30 minutes into the New York session. But our Forex market closes in 5 minutes. It closes at 9 a.m. So because it closes at 9 a.m., we want to sort of keep an eye on both of them. If it does close above that zone, you know, you could possibly look to get out of that trade. Yeah, I got you. The indicator, if you're in the Discord, just go over to resources and links under trading zone. Resources and links under trading zone. It's like the first one there. And make sure if you do add it to your chart, guys, you click on the price scale and you do scale price chart only. If you don't do that, watch what happens. Ready? It squeezes your chart. It gives you all the zones from everywhere. You don't want that. You want just scale price chart only, and then it's a lot cleaner. I would look to possibly, if you are in any shorts on gold, possibly look to lock in some profit here at this 3-1. It's really looking for that 5-1 to hit. We don't want to be greedy and risk 3 to make 2, especially if you're already in profit. You could always look to scale in or scale out as well. So that's gold. Area I'm looking for is 46.54. Area on XAU was 4600 key psych level. Somebody had the question about the volume nodes. Do you mark out low volume nodes or just volumes that value area high and low? And how do you use them? Okay, so great question. I'm going to pull up NASDAQ for this question because NASDAQ's actually lining up very nice for an answer of this question. So what I like to do when using volume profile, and the way to read volume and volume profile is to be able to find that value area high and low, like you mentioned, which are these dotted lines. In my settings here, I have my style, I have value area high, value area low, and point of control, all as dashed lines. That way, I don't get it confused with any of the key levels that I already have on my chart. So that's our value area high, value area low. When we find those ranges, what we're looking for is we're looking to take trades outside of the range, whether it's to the upside or to the downside. So when we see that value area range, we know that usually when we're trading in that range, look at the price action, was extremely range bound. But when we go to the extremes, how do we react? We react back lower towards the inside of the range. So you can look to buy low, sell high. Now, if we have more trending days or something else we might want to take a look at is look at yesterday. We had extremely low volume right over here between 29,366 and 29,427. And then today, that overlaps with today's low volume. It's not low volume because we didn't nobody was interested there. It's a low volume because price moved so quick that the orders were not be able to get filled there. So because we have our low volume area and we already see how price is reacting, look at this. First reaction, bullish. Second reaction, bullish. I'm looking for another reaction. I'm looking for a sweep of pre-market lows, a sweep into this low volume area, previous day high levels right there too. That's confluence when you're able to stack multiple reasons to take a trade. Cool. Awesome. So I hope that helped. I do like to mark out low volume shelves. And then something else to note is if we start trending higher here, let's say price starts moving higher, that NVIDIA optimism, New York session opens, we start rallying like crazy, and we create a new low volume shelf right here in supply, price moves above it, and then volume gets higher up here. And we leave this area as a low volume shelf. Guess what? This area as a low volume shelf lines up with the same area that has been resistance. We would look to pull back and use that imbalance as support, along with the broken zone, along with the pre-market high level. So again, you want to look for multiple reasons to take a trade. What's up, Luke? Right on my daily 4-hour support also lines up with market support. What are you looking, what trade? ES and Q? I think I missed your other message if you mentioned it. Deidre, let me know if that answered your question also on the VIX. I do think we hit that nail right on the head. Yeah, you got it, bro. Absolutely. GC, nice. Okay. Were you going long? Yeah, I think you said support. Right off daily support. Yep. Okay, yeah, look at that. I mentioned be careful. Look to possibly take some profit. XAU was showing support. We had this 5-minute imbalance right here. It's also, didn't hit the low volume shelf just yet. Did not hit the low volume shelf just yet. But Luke is a pretty killer trader, so I'd be careful fading him. Well, let's see how gold wants to react. We're also let's just make sure we update our previous day high and low levels. Okay, we are updated there, and we did just break previous day low for the second time. How do you apply gold FRVP? I mean, time you start to drag. FRVP full range volume profile, is that what that is? So this is SVP, session volume profile. So the futures session starts at 6 p.m. Eastern, so that's where the session volume profile starts. What you can do is you go to settings and you could change it to custom. Then you could set it to the New York session, which would be 9:30. So let's do 9:30 to, it says 16, that would be 4 o'clock. So look, yesterday's point of control, look at that. Yesterday's point of control lined up right with that rejection point during the New York session. And then if we update it again, or change the settings of it, let's see if that'll work. There we go. One more time. There it is. Oh, look at that. Point of control was still over there. Thomas, I did already, buddy. I did. I'll show you one more time. In the Discord, come over to resources and links. It's right there. Kev Indicator by Kevin Market. Look at that, chopping around here. I do suggest, possibly getting out of those gold shorts. I do want to see now, can we come back up? Sweep those highs and reverse. Now we have a liquidity sweep range and VWAP lining up there. Let's take a look at market. Let's see what market's bias is on gold. We were bullish on gold over the past few days. We've started to range a bit. Yeah, bullish ranging still, so we do want to be a little careful. Yo, what's up, Seb? Seb, let me know if you want to come on today. Nalab was supposed to join us. He's not able to. He's got some things he's got to take care of on the back end. Or if you want to join us for tomorrow's Jackson Hole event, that'll be good too. Please correct me if I'm wrong. COMEX starts at 8:20 a.m. Should we apply 8:30 session volume profile? So let's ask market, right? Any questions we have, we want to ask market. Let's test. We're not just getting our answers from market. We're testing market. Yo, let's go. We're going to get Seb joining us. That's what a freaking legend. Let's see. I'm going to send you that link right now, homie. Seb Square, Seb 2.0, Sabaniel. The Sabbath. All right, I'm sending you that link right now, bro. That's there. Let's ask market. What time does COMEX open? Open or start? We'll say start. I just want to see. Sometimes it's like, oh, we know this, we don't know this. Yep, so 8:20 a.m. for COMEX. Bro, Seb joined like the flash, man. He was ready for it. Pre-market electronic trading hours and 8:25 for official opening. The main trading session is 8:20 to 1:30. Electronic trading continues nearly 24 hours through CME Globex. It says nearly because it's 23 hours. Awesome. Seb, give me the thumbs up when you got your screen up and you're ready to come on, and I will bring you on, homie. Bullish ranging. Yeah, bullish ranging. So that's also one of the main reasons we might not want to look for that full extension trade to the downside on gold. One of the main reasons I was looking for even just a short-term move to the downside was because of yesterday's price action. Let's go, baby. Yes, sir. What's up, Seb?
What's going on, gang? Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, Vietnam. What's up, bro?
No, I just finished the CF stream, so everything was already set up. So I'm like, yeah, send the link. Let's do it.
Hell yeah, bro. How was the stream? Anything go on?
I was quiet, man. Like, markets are waiting for Jackson Hole, so
Yep.
obviously ranging, boring, August, your usual,
Yeah.
right? So just jobless claims wasn't going to be anything major.
Yep. Yep. I know. Yeah. Same here. Just a whole lot of nothing today so far. Awesome.
What have you guys been looking at? Just the
Man, really.
usual ES, NQ,
Yeah,
gold.
usually ESNQ, we were looking at gold, saw some gold shorts towards, this is like even earlier around 820, rejected a bit of a lower high point, pulled back about, what was that, about 20 points or so. At this point, we're ranging, low volume area, value area low. We have gold range, bullish but ranging on market, so we're not too quick to try to hold these shorts for long.
Yeah, I think that was also 4,600 on XAU, so big psychological level.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, it was. Yes, that's funny. We mentioned that too. Yep. 100%. Bro, those key psych levels, man, as long as you find good confluence, you're good. But yeah, 4,600 was exactly where we rejected.
And then Jackson Hole tomorrow. What's your expectations for Jackson Hole tomorrow, Kev? What do you think Warsh is gonna? What's your namesake Kevin gonna come out and say tomorrow?
Bro, first off, I need him to change his name because I know I'm but it's, you know what it is, bro. It's like we've seen him in FOMC meetings already. We know he hates giving forward guidance. But I don't know, man. It's Jackson Hole. It's a different event. There's going to be other people there. That's funny. Yusuf said the evil Kevin. But I'd hope that he gives us some insight. I'm leaning a bit more towards he's going to say something more positive for a dovish tilt. And I do think that is unfortunately because of sort of the, not the Fed, but what was it? Goolsby was speaking this morning about, where was it, about political interference with central
Yeah,
banks, you
yeah, I
know.
saw that. The Fed credibility.
Yeah, so it's like, does he just start saying things like, oh, we're hikes are off the table, we're focused now on bringing interest rates lower again? If he says that, hallelujah for the market. But it also does bring that skepticism of, does he mean it? Why is he saying it? Is the data really backing that big of a shift already? Which, in my opinion, it's not. Yeah, what are your thoughts, man?
I think he's gonna do what he's done the last two meetings and absolutely say "fuck off."
Nothing.
Oops,
Yeah.
my
He's gonna say,
bad.
he's gonna say, good day,
Yeah,
good night.
yeah. I mean, I think again, like the market, like Warsh is a wild card because the market doesn't have a read on him. It's
Yep.
also when you look at a Fed chair term, it's not like a 1 year thing, right? He doesn't need to
No.
take action right away. He doesn't need to change anything
Yep.
unless the data is telling him to do that, which right now it's not. It's basically saying you're okay to hold here until something else happens.
That's right.
So I think like again with his whole thing of like no forward guidance, let the markets decide what they want to do.
Yep.
is what brings that volatility and uncertainty to the market. So we could see the moves happen with the volatility, but we won't get that like directional conviction from his speech.
Yeah, no, I agree. But you know what? I'm hoping though too. Before even this week occurred, we were seeing that bullish momentum on gold already. So I'm hoping that at least he gets the speech done and over with, and then it brings back some more continuation going into next week, where it's like, okay, markets are no longer sitting out waiting for the speech. We can start to see some more continuation. Go,
Exactly. Yeah. So
you
if you
know,
share my screen real quick, I can walk you through how I was looking at it
hell yeah, bro, let's do it.
into this week.
Pump it up. Gold chopping around right here. It's really looking for a Nasdaq play today, especially off of that strong earnings report from Nvidia.
Yeah.
But can't fight the range, man. Can't fight the range. Let's see what Seb's sexy charts are looking like, man, with those cool
Uh-huh.
colors.
All right. So let's walk through a little bit of how we were coming into this week, right? So we had the 5 week balance here. We broke out of balance. We had a 5 day balance, broke out of that balance. We caught these buys last week, which I'm still holding a runner. But like we just said, even if Warsh comes out and has like a bit of a hawkish tone but doesn't give any guidance, I
Yeah.
could see buyers come back in here if sellers drive price there from like a higher time frame perspective. But coming into this week, I was just willing to buy pullbacks. And to me, 4,500, 4,525 is a really important zone as well. So we have that around here. I am in these buys from like 6 a.m., but it doesn't look like it's going to be a go unless we get something new come up and we break above 4,600. So I need to see that break and retest for continuation. Otherwise, we'll see what happens when we get back down here. But I
Cool.
was just looking to buy pullbacks all week. I think yesterday I had 4630, which was like probably one of my best entries ever. It would look legit. I'll show you. It was 4630. So what is this here?
Bro, I was like, I bottom ticked that shit.
Yo, legit. Like it was right there, 4630.
Cool.
So it was this.
You got
But
in
then
there?
yeah, but then the market was like, nah, today, buddy. We got Jackson Hole. And it just came back.
Oh
So
man.
it's always good when you get those like picture perfect entries when they work. But then when the
Yo,
market has other ideas, you're like, ah, fuck.
market's
No
like
need
it's
for
time to
screenshots.
humble. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. The market is the overall humbler of people.
That's very true. Just when you're like on that win streak, you're like, oh yeah, this is it. This is it. Markets are like, is it? Are you sure?
Mr. Random in the chat said this is new Seb. He doesn't know that there's 7 Sebs on the Market AI team.
There's like 8 Sebs there, man. There's Seb A, Seb B, Seb C,
Seb 2.0.
Seb 2.0, 3.0, Seb squared, Seb to the eighth. Every E
Seb
equals
to the power
MC
of Seb.
Seb. Yeah, Seb to the power of 4.
Oh, that's funny.
Somebody asks, "What's up, Ambry? How do you mark zones on gold? Please explain."
You want me to explain? Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah,
So, I mean, for me, I kind of just covered this in CF too. Somebody asked the same thing.
cool.
Psychological levels are very important for me,
Yep.
especially for gold. Gold loves to move in those $25 increments, with your 50 and your whole number being the most important. So 4,600, 4,550. But I could expect reactions at 75 because we saw a reaction here. So when I look at it through the lens of auction market theory, is where did buyers initiate the move? And it was this break to 4,600 again, right? So once 4,600 held, they came back, and then 4,575 was what pushed it through 4,600. defended, and then made the high near 4,700. So I know that there is buyers willing to defend this level here, or at least that's what I'm leaning towards. Obviously, I don't know that for sure, but with my experience, I do know that the market tends to react where the market generated the impulse for a new high. So that is why that's a key zone for me. If I zoom out to the daily, you can see we are in a bit of a balance range anyways. And then now I'm waiting to see if that initiative buying here is now responsive buying here, and then we get a move back into the range and then a potential breakout to the other side. And
Awesome.
then here, like the little indicator that I made for my levels,
I was
if I
gonna.
put in, yeah,
You
go ahead.
mind sending
Ask.
me that?
Yeah, I can send it to you, bro.
That's sick.
So here I can take away the $25 levels, and then it just kind of maps out some zones of interest for me, which are not real like tradable zones for me. I just want to see how the market reacts when it gets into those zones.
Yeah.
So they're derived from, I mean, I'm going to tell you guys a little secret here, but
Oh, shoot.
the market will tell you where it wants to trade, right? So here, let me pull this up. The market has already decided where it wants to trade when you look at options volatility. If you look at gold, is it going to come up? And then you look at like Friday's expiry. So then the market is kind of deriving these levels that it wants to trade at and where there's a lot of interest. So I'm not a quant, so I don't understand a lot of this. So I give it to my AI quant, which is Claude. And then it goes through, right? So you have your intraday levels and zones where the market was willing to do business at, or where options are kind of resting, right? So once the options go to expiry, that's where the market will then fluctuate. But it gives you kind of an idea of where the market wants to participate. So then I have Claude then kind of translate those levels from gold futures or gold options to XAU spot, and then it gives me those zones. So these zones here are the zones that I'm showing you here. So then I know that there's orders there and market participants there, but it's for me as a discretionary trader to decide whether I'm going to do business in those areas or not. And that's why I then add the $25 levels. And then if they align, then that's where I'm willing to do business at, right? So we have this green zone here. 45.50 would be the initial reaction. If that gives way, then I would look for a sweep to 45.25 and then back into the box and to trade to the other side.
Awesome.
And
Sick,
I
bro.
changed those levels daily, and you can see here, right? So like my analysis yesterday was for this to be a break and then a reclaim of this initial sell area, which was a potential resistance. But for me, being a bullish bias, I kind of just said, like, no, once resistance breaks, it becomes support. I bought and then I took it to these highs overnight. And then right at the top of the box is where sellers step back in, drove price lower, through the box, back again. So now sellers have reclaimed the resistance that they gave up during the Asian session and are now holding it. So for buyers to really take out these sellers, I need to see them push through both of these zones now.
Cool.
Other than that, we probably get a pullback lower.
Awesome, bro. That's sick. Where did you say you get your gamma level? You said gamma levels you're getting or no?
They're pretty much like gamma levels, but it's on the CME website. So the vol to vol. So it's like a volatility tool that kind of gives you an idea of like if you click here, it's going to tell you like the positioning for that specific price level.
Very cool. What's the difference between trading CFDs and futures, specifically regarding tick values, contract specifications, trading hours, and margin requirements?
If you're trading gold, to me, gold moves throughout the day, right? So you can trade it with CFDs or you can trade it with futures. It's just going to be contract sizing, obviously. Like you can't do partial contracts on futures like you do in CFDs, but you can use micros to
Yep.
give you a bit of that flexibility. But like it's not like in CFDs where you can basically scale out to nothing. and you can scale your position out 100 times. With micros, you're kind of bound to the size that you select, right? So if you pick 3 micros, you can close 2 and keep 1. So to me, it's kind of like the same thing. And then when you look at price, you just have to look at the spread between the two. So if I pull up here, right, like you have GC is trading 46.39 and spot is trading 45.87. But when you look at the charts, they look the same. They're just different price levels, right?
Yeah.
So this is the gold futures chart. You can see it reacted at 46.25 the same way that spot reacted at 45.75. So to me, they're just interchangeable. It just depends on where you want to put your money. Do you want to put it in an unregulated offshore broker, or do you want to put it into a futures broker?
Yeah. That's great.
And sometimes you only have the option of using an unregulated offshore
Yeah,
broker, right? So
that
it
is
all
true.
depends on what you're looking at and how you're going to trade.
That is true. Lydia is asking, but do GC levels respect XAU USD levels, or do they have their own? A little bit of both, right? They have their own in a sense, but they do respect each other's levels, right? If we look on XAU this morning, we hit 4,600 even. On GC, that was also a resistance point. They have the same price action. It's just the price level itself, like the number itself, is different.
There's a spread between the two, right? So if you look at
Yeah.
GC here, it was 46.50, the same as 4600 on spot. Obviously, spot had a bit more of a clean, like no drawdown reaction, but here on GC, like what is that, like 10 ticks, 50 ticks? But it's kind of the same idea, right? So I have the same indicator on GC as well, and it works the same. Like it has the $25 grid, and you can see, right? Like what was it, 4,700? So on GC, it actually gave you 4,750, where on spot, because of the spread, we didn't get to 4,700.
Right.
I think it was just shy by like 5 pips, 10 pips.
Yeah, it was close.
But they're both interchangeable and they both move based on interest rates, the dollar, and yields, in my view.
Cool. Yeah, no, they 100%, 100%. That what's it called, monetary policy, man, really has that impact on the markets.
It's all tied back to interest rates at the end of the day, right?
Yep, always is, always has been.
I think I was saying last week that the Treasury has like a sell limit on the 10-year at 4.75. This is the Treasury sell limit on the 10-year yield. Because
Yeah,
every time we got there, somebody came out and said something that caused yields to drop, right? So right here, once that alert hits, that's when they're like messaging Trump, be like, you got to say something, yields are getting too high.
tweet.
Yeah, exactly. And then the market just rebalances itself and it's trapped between this 45 or 4.6, 4.75 area. And it's been there basically since July.
That's
So
awesome.
this is the no action in geopolitics zone for me.
Nice. And a question for you now: using that, do you see that also as like an indicator to be like, okay, we're at the highs on yields, we're gonna start pulling back here. Let me look for a gold long now.
Exactly. So when that happened, it was when we were in this area here. I think it was the initial break down here. Tuesday, August 4th, Friday, August 21st, Tuesday, August 18th. So let's see August 18th. What happened? August 18th, right here. So when yields hit that high, gold hit that low, and then yields dropped, and gold saw that influx and that move to the upside and break out of that balance range.
Awesome. Sick. Sick, guys. Listen, that's why it's right considered market internals. It's not just gold. Oh, gold's reacting to a level. No, it's what's moving markets. It's what's making an impact, right? We use ES, we use NQ, we use the VIX. We use NASDAQ, we look at equities. We look at gold, we want to look at the yields. We want to look at the dollar, right? Use these other assets, these internals of the market to get a more proper read and edge on the actual moves, not just, oh, we're at a level. We're at a level is great, but what else is there supporting that idea?
So let's ask market why yields are important to gold.
Yeah, there we go. Nice.
Not BOMF, bond. It's because gold is a non-yielding asset. It's a hard asset.
Yep.
So why are bond yields important to gold? Bond yields are critical to gold because they define gold's opportunity cost, the income an investor gives up by holding a non-yielding asset like gold instead of a yielding bearing bond is the transmission. Rising real yields, so nominal yields minus inflation expectations, make bonds more attractive relative to gold. Bearish for gold. Investors rotate out of zero yield gold into assets paying a positive real return. Falling real yields shrink or turn negative that opportunity cost, which is bullish for gold. And then nominal yields plus Fed policy. Higher yields typically accompany a hawkish Fed strong dollar, both which pressure gold. Lower yields accompany dovish policy and a weaker dollar, which is supportive for gold. And then what's the current regime check? What do you do to check that? Our sentiment and levels on gold. What's the market pricing for the next Fed decision? What's coming up for gold this week? Those will ground the yield gold relationship in today's live factor mix and regime. So real yields down would be bullish for gold.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the correlation between the two.
There we go. Nice. Thank you, W Ask Market, W Seb. Guys, man, make sure you smash that like button for our special surprise guest today, Seb. Always fun having him on. Super smart dude. Appreciate you,
Always
bro.
love being on this show, man. You guys are this show it's been growing so much and it's such a good community now to be a part of.
Yeah.
Everyone the chat's always engaged. You get a lot of good questions. It really shows that people really want to learn macro
Yep.
fundamentals and the importance of them in the market. And we're here to guide you guys through all that.
That's it, bro. That's it. That's awesome. Amazing. Thank you, Seb. And yeah, you're 100% on. Guys, this show is not just me. It's not just Seb. It's not just the lab. It's not just market. It's you guys too. We are a community here. We're here every single day for you guys, 8:20 to 10:30. You have any questions in the comments, please let me know. I see Paul asking if Seb could please share that indicator link. Listen, guys, Seb works hard on what he does. If he doesn't want to share it, he doesn't have to share it.
No, it's super simple. I can share it. Hold, let me
Cool.
find the script.
And what's that? That's the level plotting one, right? Where you put the list
Yeah,
of levels and it automatically plots for you?
yeah.
That is
Like
sick.
you can copy and paste the levels. So when I run my analysis, I have Claude give me the levels and in a copy and paste format.
Cool. So let me see. I'm going to send you something in the private chat. If I sent, oh, no, that's probably not going to work like that. Because sometimes I use tools like Gex, other price levels and stuff where we could copy and paste. I was curious to see if those would paste in too. That would be pretty cool.
As long as they're in like a format where it's like the price, a dash, and then the other price, it'll plot the box or the lines.
Okay. Okay. That's
Oh,
interesting.
here goes gold. Let's see if we
Yeah,
get a
what's
push
gold
here.
doing?
No, it's not doing anything. We got a little 5-minute pump.
Yeah, ES and NQ do the same. We got 5 minutes before New York session opens.
It's the pre-market volume coming in. It's the
Yep.
hyenas that are like, I need to get in this before the volume picks up.
Yeah. I gotta buy before markets open. I saw that guy online say you gotta buy off the open. I gotta do the same thing.
How do I share the link to the script? Like this is where I'm a boomer when it comes to like sharing technology.
That's a great question. Let's see. I'm pretty sure you hit the source code button, and then from there, you could.
The whole script? It's a fucking massive script.
No, I don't know. Wait a minute. How did I end up getting the link? Because I ended up sharing a script too a little while ago. Copy, share about this
Publish.
code.
Do I
Show.
publish it?
Hmm.
I should publish it. Maybe that's what it is.
Oh yeah, I think you have to publish it first That yeah, when you publish it, it'll give you the option to like share.
I'm gonna make it invite only. No.
Guys, look at all the work you're making Sub do right now. That's messed up, guys. Oh, if you can't publish it, don't worry about it. I could always create a code similar to it, or if you want to send me the source code in a private, I'll put it together for a
No, we got
shareable.
it. We're good.
Oh, you got
We're
it?
good. Yeah.
Nice. Let's go.
Copy publication link. Here, I'm
Hey,
gonna put it in the chat. You guys tell me if that works.
let's get it. Good morning. Good morning, Jessica. What's going on? Minal, hello. Let's see. Did you send it in the chat?
Yeah, in the YouTube chat.
Okay, I don't see it there. I think only the market channel's able to. If you want to go to the private chat tab there, send it there and I'll send it over.
Let's see if that works. Oh, that's a good link on the private chat, so I think it should work.
Yep, that works. Now I'm able
Sweet.
to copy and send that to you guys. We're playing script tag right now.
So I'll kind of like walk you guys through what you need to do for it because I only showed you the top panel.
Yeah.
So $25 grid, you can click that on or click that off. It's going to give you your $25 levels on gold.
Cool.
Or you can then select exact price levels. So if you have more exact price levels, you can click that on as well. Or click that off. Your zones, you can plot them based on where the two price points are. You can have support zones, resistance zones. They will color red. Support zones will color green. Breakout box, air pocket, and then here you have your color options as to how you want things to show up on your charts. Line width, opacity, all those things. Then you have the style and visibility. Pretty simple, easy to use. I
That's
don't like
awesome.
complicated things.
That's awesome. Yeah, guys, never try to overcomplicate your trading. It's never worth it, guys.
I've tried it all. I've done it all. And to me, I had to kind of bring it back down to basics and just
Yep.
look at the market for
Yeah.
how I understand it. I
The
mean,
more
it's not to say that like what works for me will work for you or what works for you works for me. It's all independent to what actually really resonates with you. So if you learn a lot from different people and then put it all together, then you can create your own strategy.
Yeah. Yep. That is true. That is
What about
true.
you, Kev? Did you ever strategy hop when you first started?
Oh, bro, I feel like everybody strategy hopped when they
Yeah.
started, man. It was man, when I first started it was all options. When I was starting to trade, there was no like prop firms or anything. It was just like either have money to trade or you don't, and futures required such high margins at that point.
Yeah.
It was just like, listen, trade stocks and options on a cash account. And that's where that sort of played out. And it was okay. I liked trading equities. I did something called relative strength and weakness. So basically, you would look at a watch list of the equities you trade, and you would sort it by change percentage instead of dollar change, because each dollar change is going to be a different change percentage depending on the asset you're looking at, because it has different ATRs.
Yeah.
So look at something like let's say Apple was up 3%, or like today Nvidia is up 6%. If something was that strong in the green and I saw the SPY was also trending, then I would only take calls on that specific ticker, right? Whereas if things were getting a bit weaker, we weren't seeing the follow through, then we can maybe say, okay, we're bearish. I see a lot of my equities on that watch list are in the red right now. I'm going to look to short the strongest one, whichever has that strongest percent change.
Yeah. Yeah, I did a lot of strategy hopping when I first started.
Yeah. What was your favorite and least favorite?
Actually, like I'll go over this because Piyush actually asked some really good questions in the chat, and I think some of the insight that I'm going to share is going to be related back to that.
Cool.
I covered, I think it was last week when I joined as well, that the market will reward stupidity sometimes, and I was rewarded by being stupid, and I thought I was untouchable, and then when that all collapsed and the market humbled me, I started to strategy hop a lot, and I thought that it was the strategy and it wasn't my emotions. It was like, oh, I just need to find a better strategy that suits me. And I would
Always.
find success with all these new strategies for the first couple weeks. And then the losses would come, obviously, because every strategy is going to have drawdown. And I couldn't accept it. So then I would add something else, or I'd find a new strategy and work with that. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I found success with this one. So I'm going to leave that one and do this one. And then again, I'd have a 2 weeks of a green, and then I'd start to see red. And it's like, no, it can't be red. I was green all week. So
Yep.
I would again try to rework the strategy until finally I just sat back for a minute and I'm like, looked over my trades. I'm like, it's never the strategy. All these strategies worked until I became emotional and I couldn't accept a
That's right.
loss.
That's
So
right.
Piyush asks, like, how do you personally deal with recency bias before taking a trade? For example, if your last three trades were losses or wins, how do you make sure you're not carrying those outcomes into the next trade and instead focusing only on what your system's telling you to do right now? Yeah, very, very, very good question. To me, what I do is I just focus on the process, and I would rather take a loss here that I plan for than to
Yep.
take a win that I didn't plan for. Because
Nice.
if I took a loss that I planned for, that means I'm following my rules and my strategy. If I just impulsively jump in here because I saw this candle, yeah, of course the market's going to give you that extra squeeze to this high, but that was not my pre-planned trade. I got rewarded for being stupid and breaking my rules. And then when it comes to recency bias, I just move on, right? Like if I took a trade that was a loss that was pre-planned, it's just part of the game. I understand that my system overall is not perfect. I don't have 95% win rate, 97% win rate. My win rate's like 65%. But I know that my winners are going to be bigger than my losers. So I need to find consistency in the sense that if I see too many losses stacking up, I have to stop for a minute. And maybe I take a day off, maybe I take 2 days off, maybe I take the rest of the week off, let my brain reset and let go of those emotions, and then come back and trade again. It's always better for me to take a break than to add risk to the market,
Yep.
because when I'm adding risk and I'm not emotionally where I need to be for my mental state to make the right decisions, I tend to lose a lot more than win. So I just step away. Sometimes I'll take 3 days off for the rest of the week, or I'll take a week off and just watch markets and not actually trade,
Yeah.
and
Good.
then go back to my system. And I think when it comes to recency bias too, it's like if you get used to the market only going up and then the market starts to balance, you start to get caught up in like it's going to go up again, it's going to go up again, I
Yeah.
might miss out. So you start to jump in. The market's always going to be here. You know how many trades I've missed that I'm like, oh, if I got that trade I would be this much richer.
Yep.
And then the trade sets up the next day. So like the market's always going to give you something. It's never going to go up forever, it's never going to go down forever. It's going to
Yeah.
pull back, it's going to balance. Just focus on your system, your rules, your strategy, following that to the T. It's a process. If you're seeing too many losses, it could be your emotions, or it could be that your system doesn't have an edge in that current market.
That's right. That's right. But trading, man, it's 80 to 90% psychology, 10 to 20% strategy.
Yeah, and like Yusuf made a good point there, right? Like we are fooled by randomness easily, and that's so true. Like the market can fool you into thinking that it's going to go one way, and then you get trapped and it goes the other way.
Yep. Yep.
And then he
Absolutely.
asked, how long did it take me to become consistently profitable? It took me about 3.5 to 4 years. So when I first started trading, I made a commitment to myself that as a human, you overestimate what you can do in a month and underestimate what you can do in a year. So
Hmm.
you think in that first month you're going to become rich, you're going to retire your parents, you're going to be driving a Lamborghini, and then the market's like, yeah, you're not doing that, man. Like,
Yeah.
relax. You're lucky if you even get a couple dollars out of me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
Literally.
made the commitment when I first started that I was going to give it 5 years. If I don't make any money in 5 years, then at least I can say I gave it my all. And that was that. And then as time passed, 3 years of eating shit completely. And then I started to see a bit of consistency. Obviously, you still have those tendencies. You still get those moments where your brain short circuits and you tilt.
Yep.
And this still happens to this day. Like you still have to control that. inner. I don't know if I could say the hard R word here. With Jeevan was
The
banned
lab
from
coats are
saying
monkeys.
the monkey or monkey brain. Yeah, your monkey brain. Your monkey brain sometimes will step in and won't let you accept the loss. And for me, the most
Yeah.
important thing is understanding like what your body feels like when you go into tilt. For me, it's like my neck gets really tense, my palms get really sweaty, and I start to like hyper focus on wicks on candles. I'm like, this wick's gonna reverse. And when I start doing that, that's when I know like, okay, you gotta back up, step away, go for a
Yeah.
walk because you're about to lose all this money. So
Nice.
I have to be really cognizant of that. Of like once my body starts to feel different, that's my body telling me you're about to do something really stupid.
That's awesome, bro. That's cool that you have sort of that spidey sense.
Yeah, I mean, I had to learn it the hard way because a
Yep.
lot of the time I thought that spidey sense was the market being like, it's time to get in, and it wasn't. It really wasn't.
No, yeah, 100%, bro.
The
That's
market is
awesome.
like a drug. The market's like it's always gonna offer you something.
It
It's up
is.
to you if you're gonna take it or not.
It is. Yep. Hey Seb, do you have two? Excuse me. Do you have different systems for two types of market regimes, ranging or trending, or do you trade different assets?
Another really good question. For me, yeah, I do have two different ways of looking at the market when we are in different regimes. So right now we are, for me, in a balance range, right? So we're balanced here at these lows. So I was only looking to buy at the lows of the range. You could also fade the highs of the range, but I don't want to mess around in here too much. If I do mess around in here, it's because it's me and I love to gamble. But I will size down a lot, right? So like I was taking these buys here at like a quarter of my usual size. And then down here, just because I know we have Jackson Hole here tomorrow, I'm not taking this at full size either. Once you see a trend, right? So we had bounce here for about 6 days. I already knew we were in a bullish bias because we broke out of the 5 week balance. So to me, I'm buying these lows every time and I'm holding.
Yeah.
Then when you get a trending market, like we were trending for about 3 to 4 days here, I just buy pullbacks. I don't
Awesome.
wait. I just buy pullbacks. Usually it's the first pullback or the second pullback, and you get that continuation. But yeah,
Nice.
I just kind of determine based on how the daily candles form, whether we are in balance, whether we are one time framing higher or one time framing lower. And then that's going to give me a bit of an idea of what's the next potential area that we're going to go to. So if this daily candle closes below 45.75, I'm going to look for price to come into the 45.25 area for a next reaction.
Cool. That's awesome. Guys, we got a little divergence there on ES. ES made a new futures low of day. NASDAQ did not. So NASDAQ showing a bit more significant strength. I mentioned earlier, because of the NVIDIA earnings, we'd probably want to try to play NAS over ES today.
And then someone else in the chat asked, my system is trend trading, so I got slammed really hard when the market is ranging. Got any tips to help me out on ranging market regime? So, I mean, first question is, how would you determine if the market is ranging or not? Like, what do you look at? What are the time frames that you look at?
All right, what's your edge?
Yeah. Because to me, right, like if I look at the daily from an auction market perspective, we were one time framing higher here until we got here. Once this candle took out this candle's low, we enter balance. Now we took out this candle's low, so now we're initiating one time framing lower unless we close back above that low. But right now, to me, the trend stopped on this daily candle once that low got taken out. So that's when the trending stopped. And that's when I started to look at the market as ranging.
Awesome. There you go. Guys, keep the questions coming, man. Seb is just like a
Let's
machine.
go. I'm locked in. Let's go. I can
Locked
answer anything.
100%, bro. I love it, man. I love it.
And if I can't answer it, we can ask market.
There we go.
And I think earlier, Kev, you were covering ATR. I also
Yes.
have an ATR risk indicator that I use to kind of give myself an idea of how much breathing room I need to give a trade. So when I go down to my entry time frame, which is the 5 minute, we're looking at ATR. And then I should give my trade about 95 pips of room to breathe. So if I'm entering these buys here, let me move this here. If I was entering these buys at the zone, which was the analysis, I would want to give it about 95 pips of room. And then we look for like a 2 to 3 expansion move. The guys on the CF stream got the analysis here, so see if they're in those buys. And then this
Nice.
same indicator, it does highlight when ATR is expanding in the candles and when volume expands as well. I'm a very visual person, so I need to see things happen. Like I need to see color changes for me to understand what's going on. I'm
Cool,
like a little
bro.
kid sometimes.
100%, man. Visuals will help in trading, guys. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, and I mean to each their own, right? Like I can't look
Yep.
at bookmap. The bookmap stuff stresses me out.
Now, yeah.
I'm like, what
Too
do these
much.
colors mean?
What? You're not like, oh, bubble.
Yeah, I mean, like I've never used it. I'm sure it's beneficial if you understand how to use it, but I've never used it,
Yeah.
so I've never really dove into it. You use that,
Okay.
don't you, Kevin?
Yeah, I use Bookmap. It's pretty cool. Order flow. It's helpful. It's interesting. I think any type of order flow definitely carries some type of edge to it. Not alone, right? We always want to make sure we are using something else. Is order flow act showing support at a level that we were waiting on, or vice versa? Not just, oh, we have a buyer here, let me buy. Like that's
Yeah.
it's not gonna work.
And it's actually a spoof order, so you buy and then
Yeah,
they actually slam it on you.
yeah. Usually that's
And
what happens with it if you use it
yeah,
alone.
yeah. And like I was saying before, with like the ATR and giving your trade enough room, it kind of gives me, going back to Piyush, your question of like the recency bias and if you're having losses. If I know I gave my trade the room that it should be allowed, I'll accept that loss and I won't chase. Say the candle comes down here and then wicks and then it goes like that. I won't chase that move because most of the time when you chase that move, the next move is this,
Yep.
right? So I will accept a loss here because I know I gave my trade enough room. And then if that happens, then I wait for the next level and the next pullback.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Are you currently positioning yourself before Jackson Hole or do you stay out and wait until it comes out? So I have been positioned for Jackson Hole for quite some time. We were buying lows down here. I did a video with Nalab where we talked about how breakouts usually happen at the absolute worst times of the day. It's usually at market open. And when did this breakout happen? Tuesday, August 4th at 7 p.m. Eastern. Market ripped right at market open and left everybody that doesn't trade Asian session behind. So I was in from these lows. I have a runner from there. I have a runner from here. I have a runner from here. And I have a runner from here, which now allows me to basically trade for free in this area because if I take a loss, I just close one of the runners and cover that.
There you go.
And I just wait for Jackson Hole, right? So my idea this week was pullbacks. Even if Warsh comes out hawkish, I think the market will still be a bit more risk on. So even if we get a Warsh driven pullback into a better buy area, then we have a bigger range to play to the upside, right? So then if we pull back into here, we have all of this to play, and now we have targets.
Nice. Good stuff. Good stuff,
So
guys.
it's about understanding when the regime changes, right? So
Yo.
if we zoom out a bit, the regime changed here. This is where the selling stopped. Now the market's buying. We need real catalyst to drive us back lower. And that means we need to look at repricing interest rate hikes.
Perfect. Perfect. Guys, if you haven't already, man, run that like button up. We got to hit. Seb said if we don't hit 200 likes today, he's never coming back.
Do you guys think we could get a deeper pullback back to 46.15 20s in Asian session, similar to how we set up early hours today back into 45.25? 4 hour looks super clean going into Jackson Hole. let's see here, Scott. So 46.15. Oh, like you mean like pull back and then back down? Like this?
Nas with a crazy pullback.
Yeah, I mean, like if you look at 4 hour and then like kind of how the structure's building, like I just said, we could be turning into one time framing lower, but I need to see this daily close a lot lower for me to really make that adjustment. But as of right now, I'm just being patient. Like I know we have
Yeah.
Jackson Hole tomorrow. Not every day needs to be a trade day. I know
Yep.
obviously we all want to make money, but to me, I want to wait till the market has more conviction. Otherwise, you're gonna get shaken out pretty
Yeah.
easily.
And then when it finally comes to your level, you're going to be like, well, I already took 4 trades and I got stopped out 4 times.
Right. So you can see here, like if you got into this trade idea, likely going to get taken out. It looks like these expansion candles are actually seller candles that we're going to move to the downside. And if you look at overnight price action, right, we made that high in Globex, and then ever since then, it's just been all sellers all day.
Yep.
Were all those trades executed on the same accounts, or do you have different ones for swings or intraday? For a while, I did have to separate them, but now I kind of just understand that like my runners are just going to be so I can trade for free at higher levels, or I hold them until targets, right?
Very good. That's sick. That's sick. Nas, complete turnaround right there.
I used to have to separate them because I'd be too impulsive to close them once I was like 100 pips in profit. I'm like, oh, I'm going to take this runner now.
That's good. That's good though. It's good to know, it's good to know yourself as a trader and yourself as a person because everybody's going to be different. Everybody's going to be, some people are able to hold longer. Some people feel the need to cut their trade as soon as they see profit, right? So know who you are and how you are as a person before you know who you are and how you are as a trader, and then build off of that. Don't force what you're
Exactly.
not.
And like you got to do a little bit of trial and error, right? So
Yeah.
for me, a lot of the time was like my execution wasn't really there. So I started to use limits a lot. And then I started to find that, like, oh, okay, like if price is going to trade, like if gold's going to trade at a specific price, it doesn't matter how I enter, that's the price, right? So I
Yeah.
make the conviction on that price. That's my decision. Whether it's a limit, whether it's a manual entry, whether I wait for confirmation, I'm still willing to do business at that price. So what's the difference if I enter on a limit or if I enter it manually?
Very good.
How did you overcome that impulsiveness to close the profitable trades early? Did you just set hard stops and hard targets? It's
You just built different.
understanding. Yeah. It's understanding, obviously. So, right now we're in low volume, right? So,
Yep.
4,600 is a target. Once you get 4,600, okay, what happens at 4,600? Do we get a rejection? Do you see some wicks left behind where it's showing that buyers are exhausting and sellers are coming back in? Or do you get a big buy impulse that brings you up to here, and then now you're like, oh, okay, so now we're above 4,600. Do we reclaim it and go higher? And then if it reclaims, then I know like my trade is good, right? I'm going to see the extension to 46.25, and then I go with it. Or what you can do, which I did initially, was I would set a partial target at like the first critical point. So if I was just working on execution and seeing the trade play out, I would secure here, and then I would leave a runner to keep going. And the runner doesn't have to be anything big, right? Like sometimes I just leave 10% of the position, and it just gives me a bit of extra cushion to take higher risk at higher prices.
Right. Awesome. What are your yellow candles?
It's a secret.
Guys, you can't give
No,
away
I'm
its
playing.
edge.
I'm playing. They're volume expansion candles. So when volume expands 10 times more than the previous 10 candles, it colors the candle yellow.
Hmm.
And I mean, you can tell here why this candle expanded. That is cash hours open. There's a lot of volume that comes into the market at that time. You're seeing volume developing here at this zone where it did before. So that's where I look for interest.
Nice.
They are not a signal, it's just a visual thing that I use to give me an idea of where the market could be interested in doing business. Because
That's his.
it doesn't tell me if it's buyers or sellers. It just tells me that the volume's increasing.
Right, right. That's there. You go. Volume. We were talking about volume analysis before, right? Book map, order flow. That's a volume analysis tool right there, right? You're getting the insight of there's more volume stepping in at this point. Which, if you're at your key level, boom, it shows you, like you just mentioned, that extra amount of interest there.
So Piyush is saying his R is 3.8 on average, but win rate is 40%. Now I'm working on improving the win rate because I want to switch on the funded accounts and refining the entrance and very, very selective. So what is your biggest issue, Piyush? Is it your entries or is it you like execution wise? Is it the entries at the wrong level? Are you chasing, or are you just not taking trades at the right level? So you're taking more losses than you take wins. Because it might just be an issue of trade frequency. Like you might be trading too much, so you're exposing your edge to a lot more risk than you should.
Yeah.
I think with funded firms, 1 to 2 would work, but win rate is needed. What I mean for me, like for prop firms, I just go like 1 to 2 and risk a bit more than I normally would, just because at the end of the day, it's you're just risking what the eval fee is, and then you're not really actually risking that money.
Yeah.
2 to 3 attempts. Yeah. So when you're taking the attempts, so like let's kind of walk this through here, right? So let's say you were looking to buy 45.76. I would assume that then like you're entering here because you saw the initial reaction. And then once this pulled back, you're like, oh no, I'm going to close. And then you see this happen again and you're like, shit, I got to get in again. And then you get in and then you're like, it's going to go to 4,700. And then it comes back and you're like, shit, I'm going to close break even or for a small loss. And then it comes back here and you're like, oh shit, it's back at that level. It's time to get in. Is that kind of like what's going on? Because I've been there. I know what that feels like. And it's it's one of those things where just commit to the level
Yeah.
and do business at that level once.
Yep. Trust your level. Trust your setups.
I'm reading everyone's mind right now.
Right.
Can relate to that. Just
'Cause-
commit. Have conviction. Conviction is so important in the market. If that level doesn't work, it's okay. The market will give you another level tomorrow.
That's right. That's right. And you know what, guys? Everything we're covering, anytime you ask a question, first off, don't think it's a stupid question. I tell you guys that all the time. But also, if you have that question, if you're running into that issue in your trading, you come here, you ask us, we give you a breakdown. I guarantee you 1,000% you're not alone in that issue. If you have that problem, somebody else does. If you have that question, somebody else does. And who knows? Maybe there are 5 other people in the stream right now with that same exact issue, but don't have the courage to ask like you do. Have the courage. It's okay. This is a very, very, very difficult industry to get involved in. So yeah, it's going to be hard. Don't be scared to ask questions. Asking questions is the only way we get answers.
Exactly. And I think a good point to make about when you get very sporadic and you're trading the same level multiple times, you start to spend a lot of mental capital, which is very
Yep.
important in the market as well. So once you spend all that mental capital here messing around in this trying to catch all these buys, once it actually happens and you get this, you are only thinking that it's only going to go here or it's only going to go here because it never gave you that move. And by that time, you're already so mentally exhausted that you either don't take the trade or you take it and you close it here. Like you close it at these highs, and then tomorrow you open the chart and it's up here.
Yeah. And then you're like,
And then
I
you're like,
should
at
have,
least I took some profit from it.
yeah.
And it's also like the time horizon. Like a lot of people want the money quick, but
Yeah.
sometimes the market's not going to do that. Like you might have to hold that for a few hours or a couple days, depending
Yep.
on what your time horizon is, right? Like I can hold trades for weeks,
Yeah.
and sometimes I just hold trades for an hour or two, right? Like it depends on
Yep.
what I'm trying to get out of the market at that time. Sometimes I just want quick cash.
Yeah.
My girl
That's
wants to
true.
go out for dinner. Yeah, I'll take 100 pip trade and, and then
Hold up,
close it.
babe. I gotta scalp this.
Yeah, or we're not going anywhere. If I take a loss, we're getting McDonald's.
Yeah. If we take a loss, we're using your card, all right? That's great. That's great. Now it's finally trying to make its way towards that pre-market level we've been waiting on, 29,400. Something else too, guys. Markets sort of like seasonality. Sometimes off the open, we get these beautiful trends. We get an easy pullback. It's an quote unquote easy market. Sometimes look at the S&P and Nasdaq today off the open. We've had, let's see, we've had about six bars, and it's almost been every other in terms of direction. So conditions that you would want to stay out of. It's not an area where we would want to position ourselves to have confidence in a trade just yet.
You want to pull up your screen, Kev? Let's look at equities
Yeah,
since
for
they
sure.
tend to move a little bit more in cash hours.
For sure, for sure. So take a look at like ES right here. This is our New York Open candle. We sold off. Then we pumped. Then we sold off. Then we pulled back. And then we dumped. This is the area I was waiting for on NASDAQ. Now, what I was looking for off the open was this is a low volume area from overnight because price barely did any transactions at that point. Previous day high level lines up, and this was an area that price respected as resistance over the past couple of days. We scaled above it, and Nvidia was able to give us that wild optimism. AI is still printing money. Okay, great. Again, I mentioned this the last time Nvidia had earnings. Big investment funds, they make their majority of earnings when markets are doing well. So if they see the optimism, they see AI is still making money for them, they are not going to just jump out because they're scared or they're worried about an AI bubble. No, they're going to milk the rally as long as they can.
Yeah.
So would want to see the sweep low. We were about 20 points away from that on NASDAQ. We have 6 seconds right here, 5 seconds before we have our 5 minute, our 15 minute, our 30 minute, all closing right here, as well as the hourly, right? Giving us a bit of a basing. So again, we have these lows that I see. I call it low hanging fruit, where it's like we have a bunch of lower highs lining up right on top of each other, or lower lows, higher lows hanging right on top of each other, where people who, if they were in a long position, have their stop loss at the low, have their stop loss at a low. Markets love to run through that. People go, oh, markets knew where my stop loss was because it stopped me out and then it reversed in my favor. Let's position ourselves to be on the opposite side of that. What are the two charts at the bottom of the S&P volatility and the other? So I have four charts on my screen when I'm trading S&P and Nasdaq. The top left. So usually I do ES on the top left and Q on the top right. I actually have them switched up right now. So I have NQ on the top left, ES on the top right. The weighted index ticker, which you guys know is that combination chart of NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and Google, and then the volatility index, which is the VIX on the bottom right. These two are sort of like we mentioned before about market internals to help give us that insight and clarity of, okay, most of our equities are pumping higher right now. I'm not going to try to short these lows because I know that there's a good opportunity that markets want to snap back higher again.
Yeah. The VIX is super important to look at when you're looking at
Absolutely.
equities.
Absolutely. One of the most important. Do you use the VIX?
Yeah, I look at the VIX when I look at ES and NQ. I also look at the VIX term structure. I don't know if you look at that, but it's basically VIX divided by the 3 month VIX.
Oh, cool. Do you want to pull that up?
Yeah, share my screen. I'll show you why.
Let's get it.
I only use it for one level.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so like
The
that extreme?
the buy the dip level.
There we go.
So if you go back to any of these dates, so Monday, March 23rd, let's see what happened on Monday, March 23rd. Where are we? So Monday, March 23rd was when the market started to find a low, right? So once that VIX term structure hit that point, and then you have Monday, March 30th there. That is, where were we? Monday, March 30th was there. So it gives me a good idea of like when is it time to look for a bottom. So once the VIX spikes up to those highs, I know volatility is high, but once we hit this level, like it's been proven multiple times, that is a level that the market reacts to buying the dip.
That's cool.
Obviously, you're going to get some of those extremes where good luck. This is high market volatility. Actually, I'll show you something funny because I think I still have it on my chart. One of the ex furus or gurus, whatever you want to call them, when the market was selling off in April of, was it 24? Yeah, it was 25. So this spike here, right? I saw this candle and I'm like, oh, the market's going to find a bottom soon. You had people on X saying, like, do not buy these lows. The market's going lower. The circuit breakers are being hit. And I said, oh, yeah, that's funny. Funny that you say that right now because I replied and I said, this tweet is going to mark the bottom. And look at where that tweet was.
Jeez. Look at that. Look at that, dude.
And if you look at that, like 6:49 p.m. at that time, if we zoom in, like
Bro, that's crazy. That
it was
dude bottom
literally
ticked the
the
entire
bottom
move.
tick. But that's the thing, right? Like you had people telling you, like, you can't buy right now. The market's it's gonna crash. The circuit breakers are hitting. What do you do when that happens? That's when the market's gonna reverse because everybody's
Yep.
in fear mode, and that's
Yep.
when the whales are like, okay, nobody's gonna buy. Let's jump in and ride it, and we will likely not see that low ever again.
Yeah. Yeah, just like Mr. Buffett says, the best time to buy is when best time to be greedy is when others are fearful. Best time to be fearful is when others are greedy.
Exactly. I mean, he knows a few things.
Seb Aura.
No, I find that like especially when people don't understand market dynamics, they don't like, oh, it's a big sell off. The circuit breaker is like, okay, cool. That actually means that it's probably time to buy soon.
Yeah, literally. Literally. I know, right? People start selling at lows. Like, what are we doing? But that's retail.
It's
That's like
a
the baseline of retail.
Yeah, but the market's a Ponzi scheme. Well, obviously, once it's selling off, it's time to buy. Like that, you buy when the opportunity is there, not once you have confirmation. Like you got to
Yep.
buy when everybody's expecting to sell.
Yep. Yep. That's the market's a Ponzi scheme. It's a
It
people.
basically is, man. We understand like through macro fundamentals that it's all driven by whatever they want to drive them. Like Trump pumps the market whenever he wants, right? Like if he needs some money, he's like, you know what, I'm gonna go say something on True Social, and we're gonna get some money here.
Yeah. Yo, Baron, go buy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, your Baron's gonna be like one of the most high profile investors, even though like he knows his dad can move the market.
Yep. Yep. Pretty crazy stuff, man. Never seen anything like it.
It's crazy, and it's been crazy probably since his first term. Like when you realize,
Yeah.
like, oh, like this guy can actually move markets.
Yeah. Like move markets.
Yeah, but the market's starting to figure that out now. I don't know if you
Yeah.
noticed that lately, that his headlines don't have that much of an impact.
Bro, absolutely. Absolutely.
The market adjusts.
That's right. Market adjusts, taking it for a grain of salt at this point, whatever he says.
Yep. Nvidia putting some fear into the market, eh?
Yeah.
Yesterday, and then it completely reversed overnight.
Yeah, I know it was like down 4%, then it was up 7%. Said, got
White
you.
House on Iran, all options remain on the table. Okay, what are the options though?
The options are we want the straight, we want control of the straight, all these things that'll never happen, and then the war is just going to prolong and prolong, and market manipulation at its finest.
They actually meant zero DT options are on the table.
Yeah,
It's like time to make some money.
yeah, that's great, bro. It's absolutely nuts. Apple
Yeah,
selling off.
exactly. Let's talk about Bears options calls.
Yep. Equity's finding a bit of resistance, but Nasdaq trying to continue its way higher here. Yes, range.
Samuel asked if I could show an example on the market with that spike. Did I cover that with the Nasdaq chart and the Aura post? The
The
spike
Oracle.
was because we can just go back to it, right? The spike was Tuesday, April 8th, and that was April 6th. So around the same time.
Awesome. Bro, I need this Nas to start pushing lower here, man.
Pull up your screen. Let's see what we got.
Yeah. So we have our weighted index, equity hitting resistance, rejecting. Nasdaq has that 5% level right above us that we're rejecting, but look how range bound this is. This is not a market that we would want to enter anywhere in the middle, right? Don't diddle in the middle.
Yeah, don't do
Waiting for
that.
a low, waiting for a high. That's when it's the best time to sell or best time to buy. If you guys want any more rhymes, subscribe to my rapping channel. No, I'm just kidding.
The market AI freestyle battle.
Market AI free.
When the market's this boring, I might as well, right?
Yeah, right. Anything to keep us from overtrading, guys.
K dog.
K Dog, yes sir. Wiki
Oh,
wiki.
yo, I think so. I think my girl heard me talking about making money and going to eat because she's like, "Let's go get brunch." I should be like, "I didn't trade today, so there's nothing for us.
Yeah.
We can't eat. We're fasting."
Yes, yeah. We're fasting today because I didn't make any money. Sorry, babe. If you want to go call the Nasdaq, you can, but there's nothing here.
Jackson, who's doing Jackson Hole tomorrow? Kevin, is it Nil?
It was, Nil was going to do it. I don't think he can. Are you around? You want to hop on?
Let me see. I'll let you know by the end of the day.
For sure. Cool, bro. Awesome, man. Look at that, guys. You ask and you shall receive. I'm not comfortable taking any shorts in this area, especially with the strength Nvidia has had overnight, the optimism, like I mentioned, VIX moving lower, weighted index continuing to chop higher, getting some headlines there, see if it's anything of significance. Nope, meets Iran top negotiator, stresses need to resume diplomatic track. Again, what's this really going to do for us? It's going to do nothing right now. Meta may spend as much as $10 billion annually on AI partner Anthropic. There you go. You get your bag, Claude.
Yeah, well, maybe they'll fix Claude because Claude's been a bit stupid lately, if you ask me.
Oh yeah? Why? What's going on?
Bro, I've been arguing with mine for like 2 days. Like, what do you mean, bro? Like,
Bro, that's
let me tell
really
you the
funny.
last thing it said to me. I was like, yeah, this isn't right. Because, like, obviously, so AI, you can use AI, but you have to be smart enough to understand when the output is not right.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's going to feed you some stuff that you can question. But what did it say? What was the last thing that it said to me where I was like, what are you even talking about? Oh, it said, I made it worse before I made it better. I'm like,
What the
why? And then another one was, let's see, it's up here somewhere. You're right, and that's my error. What
Oh
I
my
got wrong
god.
and couldn't support. I'm like, buddy, you're not supposed to make mistakes. I
Yeah,
said make
yeah.
no mistakes.
I said make no mistakes. Why do you keep making mistakes? Bro, that's
But yeah, like you can use AI, but you have to be smart enough to understand when the output isn't what you
yeah.
need. You can't believe everything. It hallucinates a lot, right? So I'm like, yeah, this isn't right. You're right. I made it wrong before I made it right. I'm like, what?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was Claude. I've been going back and forth with Claude this week, and I end up just running stuff through like the Chat GPT models right now because Claude's been a bit weird.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
funny, man.
basically use the three. Like I'll use Grok, I'll use Chat, and I'll use Claude.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I like to use Claude to get stuff done, and then I'll use like Gemini to help with like rewording stuff, Google search types of things. But it's funny, man. I had a meeting yesterday with somebody, and he said the same thing. He was like, "I've been starting to use GPT since they upgraded because the past few weeks Claude just argues with me." I'm like, what do you mean it
Bro,
argues?
it's another Ponzi because they release a model and they get us all hooked on
Oh,
the
I
new
know.
model. Like when Opus and Fable first came out, we're like, oh shit, like Claude is like the next big thing. Claude Code, so everybody switched to Claude. And
Yep.
then OpenAI was like, oh, okay, we'll hold my beer and we're gonna release Soul. And then Claude goes to shit. So you're like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna switch to GPT now, so I'm gonna subscribe to that. And then
Yep.
now GPT is gonna go to shit in a couple months, and XAI is going to come out with a new Grok model, and that's going to be the next big hit. So you got to get that subscription, and then Claude's going to come back with some next model, and it's just a big circle jerk for these AI companies to make more money off of us.
It's a big usage jerk.
And
So
then,
yeah.
yeah, Opus is generally or genuinely hard art right now for sure. And somebody also said that like, yeah, these models only become dumb because once they're released to the public makes them dumb because of what they ask and what they prompted.
That's awesome. That's crazy. We had a question from Piyush earlier. He said, "So, do you think 200 to 300 trades are enough to understand about win rate and your strength and weaknesses?" I think so.
I would, I mean, I would look at it in a different scenario. How many of those trades were the same trade idea, but you took it multiple times? So, like, let's say you have 300 trades, but it was only 100 trade ideas. So you took the same level
Mm,
three different times, because that's gonna kind of change a bit of the output for that. Because if you took three trades at the same level, but you lost two and you won one, does that count as
right.
a winning trade or was it a losing trade?
Right.
So you have to kind of dig a little bit deeper and realize like how many of those were taking at the same general area. So like how many of those were revenge trades or impulse trades, and how many of them were actually like good planned out trades that you executed based on your analysis.
No. Nice. That's
All right,
funny.
yo, Kev, I gotta run.
Yeah,
But I will let you know before the end of the day today if I could join tomorrow for J Hole.
bro. That's awesome, man. I hope you can. If you can't, it is what it is. But hopefully, even if you want to come on at like 10 o'clock, you don't have to do the whole show.
10 o'clock's the speech, bro.
I know. So all right. So you want to come on like 9:30 to prep for it?
Yeah, you gotta be prepped for it. You gotta walk through what Kevin is gonna say.
Yes, sir. He's ready. Let me tell you guys what he's gonna say. Nothing.
All right, but yeah, I'll catch you guys hopefully tomorrow. But if not, obviously at some point next week, I'll join again. Thank you guys for your questions. I love that you guys are engaged in the chat. It really supports not only the show, but also supports you guys to learn a little bit more about yourselves in trading. So thank you guys again for being a great audience. Thank you for Kevin for being a great host, and I'll see you guys in the near future.
That's it. Awesome, man. Seb, thank you for being here, bro. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, bro. See you guys.
Later. Awesome, guys. Great stream so far. Back to our S&P and Nasdaq. ES new low of day confirms bull trend. We are not chasing this for shorts right now. We are coming into an area that has acted as resistance today earlier on Nasdaq around 29,600 key psych level. ES also still very range bound. Look at this price action. Is this really price action that's telling you that you should trade it? Or is it price action that's telling you to go find something else? We open gold, and gold looks even worse right now. Awesome, guys. Sweet. Yes, sir. Yo, Seb is a goat, man. Everybody on the market team, man. They all have their edge, but we all have crazy experience in these markets, and that's what is needed. And that's what you guys should be looking for as a newer trader, to find those people with an edge, find those people with good understandings and good knowledge base. So you can come in, you can ask questions. You come in and you learn, even if you don't ask questions. We're always covering something, giving you guys some good proper insights. Equities are pretty 50-50 now. Apple pushing lower, Meta pushing lower, Google pushing lower, Nvidia pushing higher. Nvidia has a lot stronger of a hold on equities, so I'm not just going short just because Google and Meta are selling off. Patience, guys. Guys, have you taken any trades today? Let me know. Let's see. Let's pull up. That is so weird, bro. Why would it just be... Why is this delayed? I have one chart that's delayed, apparently. Market opens at it. That's so weird. GC. Pull up our gold chart. Gold pulling back. I would want to see if we could get back towards this 46.54 area. Other than that, just a matter of being patient. Don't want to go short just yet. I do want to see if we react towards this area. If we don't, then we're just going to stay patient. Really no need to force trades in this type of market condition that's showing failure to continue in either direction. Like, this is the high of the range. If we pull up ES right now, this is currently the high of the range. So do we really want to buy high, just end up getting stopped out? No, we want to buy low, we want to sell high. But because we're in a more bullish regime right now, especially due to the Nvidia earnings, we don't want to sell high right now. We have to understand there's more to it than just buy low, sell high. There's what is the market doing right now? What's the price action showing us? What's the volume telling us? What are our underlying equities telling us? Even the VIX has been moving lower. One of the main reasons I'm not just jumping in a random long position right here. I'm sorry, a random short position right here. Let's check our 15-minute time frame. Has 11 minutes left. 30-minute. Now 30-minute created a nice basing area. I'd want to see how this 30 closes, which is in 11 minutes. If we do get a strong closure higher, then I'm going to look for some continuation. If we stay range bound, unfortunately, we might just stay within that range. Let's see. Took a gold sell, got out early, but going should have trusted my analysis and held to my TP. Where'd you get in? Where'd you get out? Google is dumping right now. So is Amazon. Nvidia finally showing a little weakness, but guess what equities aren't doing? They aren't showing weakness. Staying patient, man. I'd want to see a pullback. I really wanted to see a sweep of pre-market low. We came 20 points from it. I am holding buys from 45.70 on what, XAU? 45.70. Yeah, probably XAU then. Oof. 45.7. Nice, bro. Nice little bottom tick there. You guys are goats, man. Something I've noticed with the market streams, guys, a lot of times you guys are getting some really nice entries. That is amazing. Good work. Good work. I'd like to see if Nas can reject a little higher in that resistance area. Again, if we don't, really no trade to be made. We are still range bound until proven otherwise. Yes, hitting a point that found resistance earlier too. But it is above some key levels. Yeah, let's just wait here, guys. No point in forcing trades. No point in looking at all this green and going, yeah, I should short it now. Just wait. We do have some passive sellers between 29,600 to 29,612. Could always wait for a reaction off of your entry. Looking for right up here on ES. Yo, you guys want to see something funny on TradingView? There's a magic thing. Like, yo, who would use this? Yo, there's a key level right over here. We held right over here, but we do have some resistance in our weighted index down over here. But VIX has been moving lower, so it still does confirm the buyers have control. It's like the dumbest thing. Like, who on their back end was like, I have a great idea. Bro, I was going through these and I'm like, all right, it's got to be something new. And I saw it. I'm like, why? They do have demonstration, which is cool. Now it puts a little red circle around my mouse. So that helps a little bit for you guys. See, it seems fun when you get margin call, right? Imagine you get margin called, and then all of a sudden your screen just starts shooting out little emojis all over the place, confetti and cry. They do have also, if you guys didn't know, they have they got stickers. They got Muskie over here. Oh, they have what's his name? Sailor, bro. I can't stand that guy, man. He's one of those people that's like all in. Obviously, you guys know him. He's all in on Bitcoin, but like when it's down, he's like, no, of course it's gonna go back up. When he's up, he's always right. It's like, come on now. Markets are always moving higher regardless. Overall trend, markets are moving. So what the heck? Market is really, yo, bro, 100% market is boring. That's why we got to wait for this 30 minutes to close. If we start closing more bullish here, we have our basing area that came to some lows, bullish rally. I'd look for a pullback and then continuation. Right now, just a matter of being patient till we do get that. Equities look like they're trying to hold. Now Nvidia is selling off though. So we could just wait and see. I do want to see if we get some type of reaction off that 29,600 on NASDAQ again. Guys, if you haven't already, man, smash the like button. I'm going to check it right now. We better be above 50. If we're not above 50, you guys can do Jackson Hole by yourself. 32, guys, what the heck? You're going to make me cry. You guys want to make me cry? VIX continuing lower while ES and NQ have not made that new high yet. We are getting a rejection here on NASDAQ. I'd want to see if we can sweep towards some lows of like 7.5. Get below 7.5, we could be in line. Meta's selling off, Google's selling off. Have to go, yo, you got it, brother. Absolutely. Always happy to put these sessions together for you guys, give you the best information and best insights possible. I'd like to see, so look at how we wicked this area again. I'd want to see this rejection start to hold and just bring us back within this range. Even if we could take a short scalp targeting VWAP, right? A little short scalp stop at that recent high. Nice little 2-to-1 right there. But overall bullish market, I don't want to be so quick to jump in shorts. We want to be patient. We want to be good traders, not impatient traders. Google's selling off, which is great. Got some headlines right there. We did just get a new 5-minute candle too. If we get back below 7.5 right now, I do have some confidence in these shorts. But we'd have to get below, I said 7.5, 7.7 right here. Right now, buyers are doing their best to try to hold. Nvidia is trying to dump, but it is trying to hold still above VWAP. Google moving lower, which is a good sign. Meta moving lower, which is a good sign. Like, I want to see these sellers step in for even just a short-term reaction. We have 5 minutes left, though, for the 30 minutes to close. And right now, that 30-minute is still trying to pump up. Getting some headlines. See what these headlines are all about right here. Fed hammock. Appropriate for Fed to act to lower inflation. Not a big fan of them talking about inflation being lower, because that suggests bulls. So don't take these shorts right now. Be patient. If you are in them, I would say just cut them right now. I'll definitely be rewatching the session of this week, especially where there was news. Yeah, definitely. Guys, you could rewatch the sessions too very easily. If you go over to Market TV, you could watch us live right now. You could watch our previous streams as well. Watch whatever you want. It takes you right to the YouTube. Go back to dashboard. It is glitched at the moment. I told them about it. They gotta fix that. If you do get it glitched like that, you just gotta refresh market and it will load it properly. When I'll get bored at work. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Bored at work or watching it when you're like home and just bored watching markets. Yo, Usman, what's going on, bro? How you doing? How you been? Guys, man, run the like button up. We gotta hit 50 minimum. Yep, see that? There's that pump. That's why we're not just taking random shorts here. We know we have that bullish bias, and we just got some headlines saying Fed sees inflation as lower. That's another bullish signal. Looking for a breakout here. We're still within this value area high and low. We're still range bound right now. Best buying opportunity was down over here. Unfortunately, man, I was looking for pre-market lows, bro. Pre-market lows. We tapped 40. We tapped 29,424. I was looking for 29,400. Very close on NASDAQ there. Up 200 points if you caught lows on NQ. And if you didn't, you're in a range. Looks like it's yeah, exactly. So we're waiting for Jackson Hole. I know you just joined. Oh, Jackson Hole event symposium is tomorrow, and that's going to be Kevin Warsh's speech. They're going to be talking about Fed stance, any policy changes. They're going to hike rates, hold rates, whatever the case may be. Weighted index starting to rally. That's great. That VIX has been a nice confirmation of the longs while we've been slowly chopping our way higher today. All right, let's see, guys. Let's see. Equities are so range bound. So I like to use, guys, I mentioned earlier about using change percentage when looking at equities. Look at a majority of our equities right now. Nvidia is up over 7%. Microsoft is up over 1.6%. Tesla 2%. SpaceX 0.3%. But then we do have some red equities as well. So if these can all flip bullish, that's really going to help support a more bull move. But see how they're all sort of 50-50 now? Tells me these markets are more 50-50. 30-minute time frame closes in a minute here. Looks like it is going to be closing a bit more bullish than bearish. ES did sweep the pre-market lows I was looking for, so that ES entry was there. When's the Kahoot? Should be this Friday. That's what, tomorrow? Shit, maybe I won't do this Friday. I didn't promote it or anything. Next Friday. We'll do Kahoot next Friday. I did a giveaway on my Instagram that I'm going to announce tomorrow. So maybe we'll do like a different type of game night tomorrow, like Trading Jeopardy or something like that. Kevin, what is the payroll news tomorrow? Payroll news? Do we have unemployment data or anything? I don't think so. Natural gas is coming in right now. We have Michigan sentiment, payroll. This isn't anything major. Not anything that we should really be that focused on. Just so you guys know. Would love to see NAS pull back towards 29,570. 29,570. It's the last area that sellers tried to step in before buyers were able to squeeze us higher. 29,570. Here comes 87, very quickly trying to get towards that 570. 30-minute was a lot more bullish. We don't really have any good entry points, though. Here's that 70 I mentioned. Just straight down right now. If we start to get a reaction, I'll take some longs. Take it. Such a weird, tough point here in these markets. You know, we don't want to buy up here. We'd rather buy in a pullback like this. So we could try a light size on longs, seeing buyers are trying to step in. But I would just be very patient, be very careful. If we do start holding, then our stop becomes this recent low that we just created on our entry. We look for us to just continue higher. If we do continue lower, we can maybe look for a VWAP entry or something like that. Right now it is at a GEX level. It's like a gamma exposure level, so that's what I was looking for us to react to here. And it was also an area where sellers tried and failed. So I want to see these sellers try again and then fail again. Just looking for markets to repeat themselves. Do we have any headlines supporting or going against? Let's make sure we're not missing anything. NAS struggling. Those buyers are struggling pretty quickly there. Breaking news. Hammock Treasury has its own objective. Fed operates independently with its own goals. Okay, that's nothing crazy there. Buyers seem to be trying to hold this point. Equities are still somewhat climbing. Still a lot of weakness on Meta right now, which hasn't been having the biggest of impacts on the NASDAQ. But we're still struggling. I'd be careful, man. Some weird-ass price action today, to say the least. This whole week, very choppy, very range-bound. So it's important that we recognize when we're range-bound, when we're choppy, and we size accordingly. And sizing accordingly means sizing down. Why would you put risk on the table if you know market conditions aren't in your favor? But if you do feel like, okay, I got to take a trade setup, I'm looking for the follow-through, then size down. Don't risk more than you're willing to lose, and then take it to an even smaller scale, right? Half size, whatever you got to do to protect yourself in these markets. Minute 52 left, really lacking that follow through, unfortunately. Got to see us back above this red level I marked out. That's 29,577, and it does look like sellers are trying to bat it down. Bullock's price action, yeah. Bullock's. That's great. Minute 30 left here on the 5. Google pushing lower. Meta is just dumping. Apple's pumping. Microsoft is pulling back, but was near new high of day just 10 minutes ago. Here's NASDAQ trying to hold. Very nice. Looking for the 30 to continue so we could target pre-market high over here. Next exposure levels, 29,653. Nice reaction. It's what we want to see. Chopstick price action. 46 seconds left in this 5 minute. It's just going to like dump right now, imagine. I'd rather it pump. Meta is still trying to push lower. Microsoft is still struggling. Google's trying to push lower. Very 50-50 on these equities. Buyers are showing that they are struggling right now. And not for nothing, I do think we're struggling off of this key resistance point. So sort of going long into that resistance, but I'd like to see these buyers take it and spike us through this area. If they don't and we fail, then we just cut it for a very, very small loss. Wait for our next entry opportunity. Might even be a VWAP play. Yeah, sellers are not giving up right now. New 5 minute, not a big fan of that 5 minute close. Shows sellers are trying to take control out of this zone. I did like the 30 minute was trying to hold. It's 10:35, guys. We usually wrap these market in the mornings up around 10:30. So we are going to be doing just that. We're going to wrap it up right here. Have a great rest of your day. Possibly close this trade out if you can. I'd be very patient. I just really just, like I said, don't risk more than you're willing to lose. If your normal risk is 150 and you're trying to trade these choppy markets, drop it down to $80, drop it down to $90. Guys, enjoy the rest of your day. If you haven't already, hit the like button. I will see you all tomorrow for the Jackson Hole event. Show some love. I will see you all tomorrow. Later.